Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of true sports subscribers. Now, gonna get into this Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua situation. Before I get into it, I want to give a big shout out to my guy Easy Does 1980. I don't know if he subscribed to me or not, but he comments on my videos. Usually doesn't agree with me on anything about boxing, but he's been begging for this video, so I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give the people what they want, like they say. Who was it, the OJs? I think it was the OJs. They said you got to give the people what they want. I'm giving the people what they want. So let's talk about Joshua versus Wilder, the whole situation right now. You guys may remember recently in a Sky Sports interview, they asked Anthony Joshua about a Deontay Wilder fight, and he basically stated that he's not going to rush his career for Wilder, that Wilder is the one who has to rush because Wilder is like 30 years old, and that basically, 2019, 2020, he'll fight him then. He basically insinuated that. He said 2018 possibly, but 2019, 2020 could also be possible. He really wasn't like saying I'll fight you immediately. He gave a really he gave an answer that was very disappointing to a lot of boxing fans, especially a lot of people who think that he destroyed Deontay Wilder. And when I first saw that interview, I was very upset too. But then something hit me. Something hit me. I went and I watched some more videos. I watched the interview Eddie Hearn did on the Boxing Voice. Shout out to them. They do good work as always. Shout out to my guy Sean Zattel. But I watched a video interview on the Boxing Voice, and they were interviewing Eddie Hearn, and they asked Eddie Hearn also recently about the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua fight, and they said, "Well, when will it happen? What's the target date?" And Eddie Hearn was adamant. He was extremely adamant about 2018. He said he doesn't care if it's in Wembley Stadium. He doesn't care if it's in Las Vegas. 2018 is the time they got to get it done. So we heard two different things. We heard from the fighter, we heard in the 2019, 2020, nobody's rushing my career. From the promoter, we heard 2018 it's going to happen. So personally, my personal opinion is this. I think that Anthony Joshua is going to fight him next year. I think he's going to fight him middle of next year. I really think I think him saying that, especially knowing that it'd be on Sky Sports and people were going to watch it and everything he'd say be under the microscope with that video, I think it's just mind games because you guys remember, if you go back and you just do a little bit of research and you remember, right before the fight with Klitschko, and there was a couple audio clips that came out when they did their conference call. And Anthony Joshua was talking about the Wilder fight, but this is before Klitschko. This is before he beat Klitschko, and he was basically just saying that he'd fight him. He give Wilder that work easily, and basically he was stating that Wilder had to it'd be in Wilder's best interest to fight some more high profile fights so he can build his name up because he's 38-0 and he's a champion, but he really doesn't have he really doesn't have that name. He hasn't fought in any real competition, and Joshua was just going to give him some time to do that. And I think, this is supposed to be that time to do that. Obviously, the Ortiz thing fell through, so now he's going to fight Stavern again. Hopefully, it's a better version of Stavern this time as opposed to the first fight. But overall, I think it'll happen in 2018 because at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn is the one who's signing the check, who's cashing the checks. I know Josh got to go in there and fight to do the fighting, but I think if Eddie Hearn says 2018, it'll be 2018. And Anthony Joshua, I mean, let's look at things. Let's remove our emotions for a second because a lot of people are just getting emotional right now. Let's look at Anthony Joshua and what he's done so far. He's beaten some good, solid fighters. Kevin Johnson was an okay win. Dillian White, good win there. And then 19th pro fight, he fights Vladimir Klitschko. Yes, it's a guy that came off a loss. We get that. He came off a loss. He was coming off a layoff. We get all that. But it was still a very, very, very hungry, very game, and a very tough Klitschko. And that Klitschko, you could argue, very easily, is better than any fighter that Deontay Wilder has on his resume. So Joshua has taken on some pretty tough challenges early in his career with less pro experience in his career, less than half the fights in his career. So my thing is, why a lot of people are saying he's ducking Wilder. First of all, he's got a fight coming up with Pulev, so he can't duck Wilder. He's got a fight coming up with Pulev. He's going to take care I'm sure he'll take care of that. Once he does take care of that, then his attention can shift towards Wilder. Because you can't duck somebody if you got a fight scheduled already. He's fighting Pulev, and if we look at that fight, and you got to understand that fight for what it is. All right, Pulev is a good opponent, but right now, a good opponent with good amateur background, solid pros, been in there with some good guys, not the creme de la creme of the division, but still a top 10 heavyweight. And that's, to me, I'm looking at that. I don't want to disrespect Pulev because he's a good fighter, but really what it's being used as is a stay busy fight in a massive stadium, because Joshua's a stadium fighter now. He's developed that kind of fan base over there to where he is a stadium. Anytime he fights in the UK, he's fighting in this freaking stadium. So it's going to be that to continue to build his name up, build himself up, and build more hype up for a Wilder fight. You got to look at it like that. They're going to use that fight. If Joshua looks sensational like he should, then they're going to use that to build up a Wilder fight. And then I'm looking at probably summer 2018, summer, spring 2018. You got to make the Wilder fight happen. If Eddie Hearn is saying summer, spring 2018, then I believe it. I believe it. I'll take Eddie Hearn's word over Joshua, because Joshua can just play mind games. Because he's already said on multiple occasions before the Klitschko fight that, hey, I'll fight the guy anytime. And I'm not really led to believe that Joshua would duck a Deontay Wilder. Now, what I will say is this: should the fight not happen in 2018 because of Joshua, then he's gonna be. Then I'm gonna go off on him. But right now, there's no point in going off on Joshua, because all it is just words. It's just words until there's actually actions and he's not fighting him and he has a chance to fight him. Then it's different. But for now, he's gonna fight Pulev. He's gonna beat Pulev. So he should beat Pulev. I don't want to disrespect Pulev, but he should beat Pulev. And that should set the stage for next year. So. Well, I think a lot of people are just overreacting right now. I think it's a lot of mind games being played with Joshua, because he knows that and you gotta look at it from the Joshua perspective as well. If you're Anthony Joshua, you got this fight Pulev coming up. You're keeping your eye out on Wilder and what he's doing, and you're seeing that he right now, Deontay Wilder is super emotional, super pissed off, super angry about the whole Luis Ortiz thing, right? And he's just going off left and right, and then Joshua is just gonna throw another bullet at Wilder and say, look, I'm not fighting you until 2020, and he knows that's gonna get Wilder going, and Wilder's gonna start going on Instagram and sticking his chest out. So I think it's just strategic. Anthony Joshua, to me, he knows he has Anthony Joshua has what I call, and you guys may have heard me say this before, but he reminds me a lot of Derek Jeter. And the reason I say he reminds me a lot of Derek Jeter, because if you guys watch baseball, you watch how Derek Jeter used to answer questions. He always said the right thing. The dude could never say the wrong thing. He always knew how to just say the right freaking thing at the right time. And in a different way, because boxing is different than baseball. You're not fighting people in baseball, unless you get hit by a pitch. But it's different. I think Joshua is the same way. He's just like Derek Jeter, but in a different context, because boxing is different. He knows how to say the right things. In this situation, at least, he knows how to say the right thing to kind of get Wilder going, and it's going to get him mad. So, to me, it's just mind games. I personally think it's mind games. I think the fight is definitely happening in 2018. I know a lot of people are saying, well, he's ducking him. He's paper champion. Joshua's not fighting nobody. But you can't look at the words. You got to look at what both fighters have actually wound up doing. You got to look at who Wilder has fought, who Joshua's fought. Wilder's been a guy that, for the most part, has a really weak resume. The best win on his resume is the guy he's fighting again, but now this guy is coming almost off of a 2-year layoff to fight him in Stavern. So his resume hasn't improved that much since before the Klitschko fight, when Joshua said that he would, give him that work easily. And now people are kind of just hating on Joshua, which I get it. I could understand why. To be honest, it's not a good look at all. I think it's a terrible look for Joshua to say that, but I get why he might say it. I'm not saying it's right, but I do see some double standards here with boxing fans. Because I remember some of the same people who were saying that Gennady Golovkin needed Canelo. Canelo didn't need Gennady Golovkin, and that Canelo was the A side. They were applauding the fact that Canelo was waiting out Triple G. They were giving him his props for waiting out Triple G and sticking his chest out as A side. And now in a different situation with heavyweights, we have Joshua doing something similar. He hasn't actually exercised his ducking. He hasn't ducked like Canelo did to Golovkin, but he's doing it maybe a bit more calculated than before he even has a chance to duck Wilder. So I don't think he's going to duck Wilder, but he's doing some of what Canelo did. And now the same people that were applauding Canelo for waiting out Golovkin, for sticking his chest out as the A side, for saying that Golovkin needs me, I don't need Golovkin, and things of that nature. Joshua is doing pretty much the same thing in his own way, and people are giving him a lot of flack for it when he hasn't even ducked Wilder yet. So if he's going to duck Wilder, let's actually wait for him to duck Wilder. When he has a chance to duck Wilder, let's wait for him to do that. I don't think it's fair to him. I really don't even think it's fair to Wilder, to be honest with you, either, because Wilder, he's scheduled for a fight as well. So nobody can duck anybody right now. They're both of them are scheduled for fights. Wilder's fighting on the 4th. Joshua's fighting on I know he's fighting. I can't remember the date right now, but I know he's fighting Pulev soon as well. So it is what it is, man. You got to take it for what it's worth. It's all just smoke and mirrors. The fight is gonna happen in 2018. So if you're a Wilder fan, don't overreact. If you're a Joshua fan, don't overreact. It's all just smoke and mirrors to keep the name in the headlines. And I'm glad that people like myself have a YouTube channel, so I can let you guys know that it's gonna happen in 2018. There's no way it doesn't happen in 2018. It just really doesn't make any. It makes too much sense for it to not to happen in 2018. Joshua has captivated the imagination of the British boxing public. Had a massive fight at Wembley Stadium where he sold 90,000 seats. He's now going to Wales. He's going to sell another 75,000 seats. You got Wilder, who's going to take a stay busy fight with Stavern. That's what it is at this point. Hopefully Stavern makes it a better fight than we think. But it'll be a fight with Stavern. Continue to build his record up. Even though we wanted Ortiz, that's what it should have been. And should they both do what they're supposed to do? It's going to set the stage next year for what should be a great heavyweight fight. Joshua. Not a less experienced in the pro ranks, but definitely has fought the better competition as opposed to Wilder, who has fought lesser opposition but has blasted pretty much everybody out the ring with the exception of Stavern, who Joshua also said 5 months ago in the conference call, if you guys can go back and listen, he also said you got to look at that. Stavern was really the first guy to that point in Wilder's career where Wilder was fighting someone of note, and that coincidentally or uncoincidentally, that's the first guy he didn't stop. He didn't knock out. So you got to look at that. And, it is what it is, man. It'll happen in 2018. It just makes way too much sense not to. So like I said, the guy you need to listen to is not Wilder. It's not Joshua. You need to listen to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn said it's going to happen in 2018. He's promoting the A-side fighter in this fight, and he'll be working out in conjunction with Al Heyman. So it's going to happen in 2018, all right? Don't panic. Don't get your panties in a bunch, Wilder fans, Joshua fans, boxing fans at large. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's going to happen. Nobody can duck anybody right now. It's all just smoke and mirrors. And that's what it is. So you can agree with me. You can disagree with me. Just let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will Joshua fight Wilder? Will he duck Wilder? Will he quack like a duck? We'll see. All right, we're going to see. And should he actually go through a ducking him, then I'm going to go off on him because then he'll be letting me down. And I don't like being let down. I don't like being wrong. I don't like when I think a fighter's going to do something and then they do something that they shouldn't be doing. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, like the video, share, do all that good stuff. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.